vaccine,
you don't give a damn about these girls. You don't give a damn about these victims. You think it's fine to smear all of them. You admit it. You proudly admit it. And I think it's shameful.
Why would I feel sorry for people that are liars?
We now know from these documents just how disgusting this scandal is, and yet still you come on shows like this and you're still in total denial for reasons that completely baffle.
Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. What we are about to look at is one of the most deeply unsettling, sickening meltdowns ever broadcast on internet television. But in a massive twist that no one saw coming, we are actually going to see Piers Morgan on the right side of history for once. He steps up to do exactly what needs to be done, fiercely defending the people who actually deserve to be stood up for, while completely shutting down a masterclass in elite delusion. The individual sitting second from the left is Lady Victoria Hervey, a prominent socialite who has spent years acting as an unhinged apologist and defender for the likes of Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew. In this shocking footage, she takes to international television to spew a series of absolutely sickening defenses, essentially trying to gaslight the entire world about the realities of a highly notorious, elite, predatory ring. It is a stomach-churning display of privilege being used to try and rewrite history and minimize the trauma of young victims. Now, I do want to quickly apologize for the audio quality at the start of this breakdown. I'm recording this directly from my desk because I needed to get this out to you guys the second it dropped. I appreciate you bearing with me on that. We are going to play this jaw-dropping clip in full so you can see the absolute audacity for yourself, and I'm saving my complete thoughts and perspective for the end of the video. Let's get straight into it.
Lady Victoria Harvey, I mean, you've been very steadfast in your support of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, but given what you've now...
That's quite a long name, isn't it?
...been reading... Well, you know, he had all his titles stripped quite rightly, but given what you've now...
Yeah.
Right, but given what you've now seen about what he was up to...
So let me just give you an update. Let me just give you an update. So as of within the last 24 hours, the FBI did a statement and they said, with all the information that they have seen, all the millions of files, everything, they have come to a conclusion that this was not a sex trafficking ring.
Well, where's that statement?
Let that sink in. It's all over. I sent the link to your producers this morning. So
no one's been able to find that statement. So you're talking about a statement. Nobody has seen this statement.
The FBI has said, and I will send it to your people afterwards, that it was not. So exactly what I told you in 2019. I said, Piers, these girls were not trafficked. And that word was too strong a word. Anyway, the FBI have recently said this in the last 24 hours. It was not a sex trafficking operation. Yes,
well, let me bring Spencer Cooven. Let me bring Spencer Cooven back on that, because you'll know better than anybody.
It's out there, and I will.
Spencer Cooven, apparently, none of this involves sex trafficking. Spencer Cooven.
There might have been girls that were abused. That is not the wording, but it was not a. It was not a sex trafficking ring.
Ms. Harvey.
So yeah. I just want to get the right information out there, because there's a lot of disinformation.
Well, yeah, and most of it appears to be coming out of your mouth. I think at the end of the day, what we need to remember,
you're making money from this.
We have nearly hundreds of young girls under the age of 18 that were sexually abused and trafficked
because you are making money from
this. By Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Don't forget that we have one woman who's sitting in jail, convicted.
How much money did you make from this?
Convicted of sex trafficking. And at the end of the day, I think the problem we have is that we're giving voice to people like Miss Harvey.
I'm not Miss Harvey, I'm Lady Victoria, actually.
Oh, okay, Miss Harvey. For 20 years, people have been fighting. These young girls have been fighting to be heard, fighting to make sure the world knows what happened to them.
So how much money have you made from this?
And finally, the U.S. government is starting to release the documents that verify what these girls have been saying all along.
The FBI just verified it's not a sex trafficking ring. Okay?
Okay, is this the same FBI that apparently is hiding additional documents and deleting names that are in those
I
documents? Is
don't
it the
know, but
same FBI that we're
that's
talking
what's
about?
happening. So
Yeah,
it's out there.
unfortunately, we
Even
don't.
ABC News, which is, not always the most
Victoria,
reliable.
Victoria, here's what I just find completely baffling. That even with this
And
unbelievable
they
document
also
dump.
spoke about
No, hang on, let
Virginia,
me
how
finish.
Virginia lied.
Let me
No,
finish,
this is
please.
huge.
Let me finish, please.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Even notwithstanding a 3 million document dump of files, which reveal the most horrific stuff
Which
going
you're
on
in and I'm in.
with
Yeah.
Epstein, with Ghislaine Maxwell, with others, you still just want to pretend there's nothing to see here. Why?
I'm not pretending there's nothing to see here. I'm just stating what the FBI have come to the conclusion it was not a sex trafficking
Well,
ring.
nobody's seen that.
Which means Ghislaine is in jail for not trafficking to anybody. So she should be released right away.
She was found guilty.
But there were no clients. There
She's
was no
serving
client list, Piers. You're not understanding it. I like you a
You're
lot.
not understanding
I think
she
you're a very
was
good presenter.
convicted and sent to prison.
I know, it's very frustrating
doesn't
for
get
people
it.
like you because it's just like the media has built it up into this huge thing. Yes, obviously, Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. Like, that is true. Like, he was working for various different intelligences. We know that. But the fact is, he was not lending out the girls to his friends.
He was.
Really?
We know that he was.
Everybody
We've
knows
seen
he
evidence
was.
Sir,
You've
I
seen
don't
it
know
in the
what your name
documents.
is, the lawyer, but you obviously made a lot of money from this. Can you tell us what you made from this?
Can you tell us what you've done with Mr. Andrew? Can you tell us about your relationship with him and what he's told you?
I haven't seen
Why
him in
don't you
many
talk
years.
to us about what he's admitted to you?
I'm defending him because I know he is not guilty.
And you know this because he told you
how do
this
you know
and he
that?
talked to you about it?
I know. I've been very good so far. I was right about COVID. I was right about the vaccines. I was right about BLM. I'm right about this.
All right, Katie Nicholl, let me bring you back in here. What is so febrile this scandal, and the thing for the royals that's so difficult, they don't know what's left in these files to come out. They don't know how bad this could still get, even from this terrible position they're now in. It could get a lot worse. Almost every day brings new revelations. The revelation this morning that Andrew was leaking his secret information as a trade envoy for Britain to a convicted paedophile, that alone is unbelievably damaging to the reputation of the royal family. It's an act of treachery.
Well, it is, and we've all seen how it's ended up for Mandelstam, and I'm afraid that Andrew is not exempt for that. These are, as you say, new allegations. They've only surfaced today. As we know from the statement, which I think is broken while we've been on air out of Buckingham Palace, we know that the King, the Queen, all members of the royal family will cooperate with Thames Valley Police as and when they need to. The royal family, as I said earlier, are in a very, very difficult position. I think almost a position like the rest of us. They have to wait and see what's going to happen next. Is Andrew going to go over to the States and voluntarily testify? Of course he's not. If the Met open up this investigation, then he will have to answer questions. And I think most people feel that's exactly what he needs to do. But perhaps first, the statement that needs to come is from Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, from Sandringham, expressing some empathy for those victims. There is such a gaping hole in all of this, and that he's left that to other members of his family to do. He should absolutely be doing that. And I'm quite astonished by some of the things that Lady Victoria has said on air. I have to say, I think all of our feelings and empathy need to be with those girls. When you hear how young they were, it's truly terrible.
Yeah, I'm afraid Victoria
I just thought of something else I would just like to put out there because, being in my position, I have been in a position where I have been able to be vocal, and that means that I've had a lot of people reaching out to me with information. A couple of months ago, I had a British girl reach out to me, and she said that her and her friend met Jeffrey Epstein in Virginia the weekend of March 10th, 2001, at the Dorchester Hotel. Virginia lured them to Jeffrey's hotel. She made the girls lie and say that they were 18 years old. One was 13, one was 14. They actually signed NDAs with Virginia, and David Boies paid them off. Now, They're too scared to come out.
Well, unless you've got evidence for any of that, I'm not going to just allow you to spew any cock and bull conspiracy theory that has come to your mind.
Once David Boyes, it might take to the point where he passes away, and then I feel like the floodgates will open, and all. Well,
you know what? David Boyes might well sue you. David Boyes might well sue you over what you've just said.
Well,
it's a very serious defamation.
In touch with the Metropolitan Police. So what I want to tell you is, I'm very much in touch with the police, literally on WhatsApp, and they know a lot of information that you guys are not privy to. But
do you know what, Victoria? With the greatest respect, I think you talk utter shit.
All right.
And I'm sorry. I've known you a long time. I think you've disappeared down a conspiracy rabbit hole that is frankly repulsive.
I've always been right about my conspiracies. You were wrong about COVID and you were wrong about the vaccine fears.
You don't give a damn about these girls. You don't give a damn about these victims. You think it's fine to smear all of them. You admit it. You proudly admit it. And I think it's shameful.
Why would I feel sorry for people that are liars?
We now know from these documents just how disgusting this scandal is, and yet still you come on shows like this and you're still in total denial for reasons that completely baffle me.
Can we talk about the quality of girls? So Anushka DeGiorgio as an example. You know what she did? Like, this is the caliber of person we're talking about. Anushka DeGiorgio...
Actually, I'm not going to let you smear them. I'm sorry.
She was the girl that set up Tom Parker
No, I'm not going to let you do it.
No,
sorry,
she did it. She did that one story.
I'm not letting you do it. I'm not letting you smear these victims anymore. I'm just not going to let you do it. Just cut her off. Ollie Doug.
Listen, what we just witnessed is absolutely mind-blowing. I'll be entirely honest with you. This is the first time I've ever seen someone go on a major news network and brazenly call the victims of Jeffrey Epstein actual liars. To sit there on international television and actively try to degrade and minimize them by saying, look at the caliber of these girls, implying their background somehow disqualifies their trauma, is an absolutely insane statement. She should be deeply ashamed of herself. The sheer entitlement on display is sickening. Did you catch the moment she actively tried to pull rank and correct the panel, snapping, "It's Lady Victoria, actually"? That completely exposes who these people are. These are the toxic, out-of-touch elites who weaponize their titles and social standing to run cover for wealthy, powerful predators. Earlier in this exact same debate, she actually had the audacity to suggest that anyone who wasn't named in the Epstein files was a loser, essentially claiming that the real movers and shakers were all part of that circle. She isn't even trying to hide it. It is disgusting, elitist trash, and she is completely saying the quiet part out loud. But here is the absolute kicker. I actually went out and did some thorough research into the wild, unhinged claims she was making about the FBI, supposedly declaring it wasn't a sex trafficking ring. Surprise, surprise. There is absolutely zero evidence to back up anything coming out of her mouth. She is just entirely inventing a false narrative out of thin air to protect her aristocratic friends. Because of that, I have to give credit where it's due. Piers Morgan was completely on the right side of history here. It doesn't happen often, but watching him completely lose his patience and shut down her dangerous revisionist history was exactly what needed to happen. What do you guys think about this complete elite meltdown? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more breakdowns of mainstream media meltdowns. I appreciate the support, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.